we'll do our best. We'll just do our best. Oh, my camera's super crooked. Whoa. Let's get it straight. I love you. Hi, welcome to FiberLoveDiary. I'm Trisha if we haven't met, and if we have met, welcome back. How are you? For those of you who have been watching my nails lately, they've been a big topic of conversation. They're changing today. Enjoy them for the last time. How are you doing? What are you working on? We're here for the second installment of Soxtravaganza. It's an extension of the breed study that I worked on through a pretty decent chunk of this year. What I'm doing is going through 4 breeds to check how they will work for socks for me. So if you want to do additional testing, if you want to test how they'll work for you, you can buy your own kit. That's why I did that. I've been getting questions from some of you like, why aren't you testing this? Why aren't you testing this? I care about this. I care about that. I can't test everything because I don't have a lab and I don't have the right equipment. And also, like, science only goes so far if you can't control all the variables, and I can't really control all the variables. So am I trying to use a scientific method? I'm trying, but like, you know, again, I don't have control over all the variables. And honestly, if you were a scientist and you were doing testing without control over all the variables, that would be thrown out. So take it for what it is. It's me trying to figure out what will work for socks for me and really my husband, my family, whatever. I got questions about durability. I can't test that for you because the way you will wear them will be different. The way you'll spin them will be different. Them will be different. I do not care about that. I know that sounds insane, but I really don't. I spin and knit socks from hand spun and then from commercially spun yarn so much that if a sock in my drawer wears out, I'm happy because that means I can knit a new pair of socks. And I'm not joking. And I know it's annoying for some people. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You really need to test how you want it to be. Some of you guys have had questions about the chain plying. I've been knitting hand spun socks since more than 10 years. That I can promise you. The chain plying has never worn on the joins. So I think that's the main stuff that I wished I had addressed during the first episode. If anything else comes up, I guess I'll just film it and stick it in there. Sorry about the glasses. I try not to wear them when I need to use a light because they reflect a lot, but I cannot wear my contacts today. My eyes are sore. Let's go to the Dorset. So the Dorset is the only roving in this Soxtravaganza sampler. I know there's always questions about that because people misuse the word roving a lot on like sites where you buy wool. Comb top or top, which is what all the other samples are, is combed, and that's why they call it the comb top. All the fibers go in one direction, and that's a worsted prep when all those fibers go in one direction. Now, if it were 100% worsted prep, actually all the butt ends would be like on this end of the fibers and all the tip ends would be the other way. Mostly now, you know, terminology changes over time. Mostly now, top would just be something that all the fibers go in one direction. That's what these are. So the roving is carded instead. The carding machines kind of like funnel the carded fiber into one little thing and then give it a slight twist to like hold it together. And that's what this is. So this is the Dorset Down. Since all the other ones are top and this is roving, I figured it's the perfect time to discuss. And some of you have heard this before, I'm sorry, but for the people who haven't, it's only fair. Roving, anything carded is actually a woolen prep, and that's because the fibers tend to kind of like go all different directions. Sometimes when you card, you even do that on purpose. So this would be a woolen prep. Typically, I don't use a woolen prep for socks for a couple different reasons, but one of them is durability. I believe And I think it's pretty well documented that a worsted prep with a short forward or a worsted draw of some type is going to be stronger. I am going to use a short forward draw on this roving. And I'm going to read you guys a little bit about the Dorset Down. The last one was Dorset Horn. People had questions. They are different. So I'm going to read you, the characteristics are a lot similar, but the development is very different. So I always mean to tell you that I am using the Fleece and Fiber source book for my data source. The section of the book that covers this is called The Other Dorsets and Dorset Down. I've talked about down wools in the bigger breed study. They all come from the South Down, like originate in some way from the South Down family. Okay, we talked about that way back. That's why they call them down wools, right? All right, so this is one of the breeds included in this family. It says they all have colored faces and grow down wools. That means they tend to be relatively short. It says 2 to 4 inch staple. They all have colored faces. I said that already. From tannish brown to dark brown or charcoal true black. And usually their legs are colored too, it says. Normally their fleeces don't have color. Oh, but it says, that's interesting, I didn't know that. Dark faced sheep sometimes have like little bits of hairs that are darker throughout. They have some interesting stuff in the book. I'm not going to read it all, but just about the way the word down in this context is used, it can be confusing. A lot like the worsted and woolen words that we use a lot. Some people think when you say down wools that it's like a down coat on another kind of animal that has a double coat. So normally that'll be the next to skin fibers that are softer. In the context of sheep breeds, down actually refers to where and when they were developed. It's a specific region of England. It's called the Downs or the Downlands. We have talked about this before. All the down breeds are traditionally raised for meat, and then that would mean that their wool went to like in a big huge bale to a commodities market, and when they want to use wool in that way, usually they want to dye it a bunch of different colors, so if it had dark fibers that wouldn't be good. That's why you don't usually see it. Down wool is springy, great elasticity and strength, making it an excellent choice for hard wearing items like socks, basically is what it's saying here, but other things too. Springy crimp, it says it's a bit chalky. I have been worried about this. That's one of the reasons why I want to dye all my samples, and I want to see how they each take color, because the down breeds do tend to be chalky. That just means it's not shiny. I mean, it doesn't, you know, give off any kind of chalky whatever. Crimp is nicely elastic, doesn't felt especially well, so you may be able to machine wash it. Oh, it says if you blend it with a long wool, it'll add resiliency. That's really interesting. I have never tried to do that. All right, Dorset Down was a relative latecomer to the field of down breeds. Oh, and it says there are quite a few in New Zealand and England. And there are some in Mexico. Super interesting. The fleece weights are 4.5 to 6.5 pounds. Staples are 2 to 4.5 inches. That would be good. We're gonna check it in a minute. 25 to 29 microns. So those again are coarser. I expected coarser ones. If durability is a factor for you, a coarser wool would be a little bit better. The super fine ones just aren't going to be as strong. That makes sense, right? Dense, resilient, medium grade fleeces with blocky rectangular staples that hold together and may be hard to distinguish from each other. I believe that. White, there may be a few black fibers because these breeds have colored faces, but any off-color fibers lower the commercial value of the wool. We talked about that. So using this, I said I was worried about chalkiness. It says for dyeing, this wool takes dye well. It is neither luminous nor dull. I would agree with what I have as a sample. And there are a few dark fibers in this. I mean, I don't mind, but you can card shorter fleeces and flick or comb longer, so you can do whatever the wool dictates you can do. Wonderful yarn for socks, mittens, hats, and everyday sweaters. Yeah, I would say maybe. We'll see. Best known for being needlessly ignored as a fiber resource for hand spinners. Son of a nutcracker, that is so true. All right, let's check our staple and then I'm gonna go spin. And I'm literally gonna spin today. I'm so excited about this. This roving is like thick. Look how big this is. All right. You ready? This is the only one that's a woolen prep, but I figured there's a lot good in trying a different prep, you know, for socks. Or for anything, just testing it out and seeing how you like spinning it, how it holds up, all those things. Okay, we got good length. Look at this. All right, I do have my ruler because I'm a professional. Sorry, Luther. Give me a kissy. This is 4 1/4 inches long for me. There is a little fluff that's sticking out, but I mean, I'm trying to measure the majority of the fibers at once. When I wash this in my washing machine, I'm gonna wash the first wash only sample again, just to make sure that it's not gonna shrink more over like subsequent washes. So we will go ahead and review all those as well. Let's get spinning. I'm actually super excited to spin this. Okay, I gotta label these. Okay, so these are labeled. I did knit them with the same size needle and the exact same amount of stitches. So 30 stitches, 5 rows of garter, 29 rows of stockinette with garter at the edges of 4 stitches, and then 5 rows of garter and then a bind off. So here, this is my control again. I'm just gonna press them out flat with my hand. I am not gonna stretch them at all. They're just about 4 inches tall. I did find that this yarn had a little more bounce back, and they are 5 inches wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and they're right at the bind off. Up the center of the swatch, you can see they're just like a tiny bit under 5 inches wide, and it's like a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to measure each one. This is the control, but didn't it turn out so pretty? It's beautiful. Wash only, just make sure they're all the same. And it is again 4 inches tall. This one actually, no, is it? Yep, this one's identical in size. That's the wash only. And then let's make it flat. Again, this is the wash and dry. They're very uniform. I can't hold them all out this time because this one's so springy. It just wants to like bounce up. Here's the finished yarn. Turned out absolutely beautiful. I'm kind of in love with it, even though while I was spinning it, I didn't think I'd like it that much. It is definitely more rustic than the Dorset Horn feeling. Like, just, it's like springier, almost a little stiffer. Like, it just wants to hold its own shape of each hair a little bit more, so it all just springs back more. But I loved it, and knitting it, I mean, knitting it just turned out, it's gorgeous. And for socks, I kind of like something more rustic. Maybe a mental thing, but I think it wears a little better. So I did plan to take my wash only swatch and wash that each round. Okay, so this is my wash and dry, and then this is my wash only of the other breed. So let's go take these and wash them. Welcome back to my laundry room. This is a load of laundry I'm about to wash. And again, I really want this to succeed. Now you can really see how gorgeous that turned out. I really want this to be a success again because I like this yarn so much, but you know how I am. I'm just very fickle, and I love the yarn I'm with. If I can't be with the yarn I love the yarn I'm with. So here we go. Godspeed, Dorset Down. I already have my soap in here. Again, I'm going to wash this in cold. I'm going to do the best I can on this. This is my control, not washed at all. This is my wash only sample. It looks a tiny bit smaller because it's farther away, but let me set it right on top. As you can see, I would say no shrinkage. Yay! I washed the Dorset Horn again. Let me go get the control for that and we'll compare it. I would say it definitely fuzzed up a little bit this time, but if you put it over the control, same test, did not shrink. So it's been washed twice now, and I'm actually going to mark it that it's been washed twice. I'll just put hash marks as I wash it. I'm going to come up really close now so you can see. I mean, I would say there's a tiny bit of fuzz, Okay, so see this one? I'm gonna put it right next to the control, but it's still looking really good, but you can see it's fuzzed a little. I'm not retesting the dryer one because I know it shrunk and it wouldn't work for me. So I'm only retesting them if I think up to now they'll work for me, and I want to kind of see like how far can I push it until they won't. I'm going to show you this is the control, I believe. Oh my gosh, I can't even, no, this is the wash only. I'm going to show you the stitches of the two together the same way. On this one, control on the left and wash only on the right. So those look very good with one wash. And with the next batch, I'll wash all 3 of the wash onlys and etc. So I'm going to mark this one with a hash mark too because it's been washed once. And also I will say this, the Dorset Down softened up quite a bit in the wash. I didn't expect that because it's been dyed and like soaked and everything. I thought it would come out almost the same, but it got quite a bit softer and less stiff, I guess you would say. Wow. Okay, so I have to say, for me, this one is also a winner. We'll come back and check the dryer one in a little while. It's in the dryer right now with all that laundry. And you guys have asked, my dryer is on the medium temperature set. I finished the last load. This is my washed and dried sample. Let me show you the label. Wash, dry. And it looks great. I mean, it really, the way this yarn turned out, I mean, it just looks great. I'm thrilled with how pretty it is. And it's not just the color, but it does feel a little more rustic. Again, this is my control. Okay, so here's my control. Here's the thing with the wash and dry one. It definitely did shrink. See this? The weird part is the width is the same and it shrunk or shrank. I never know what the correct tense of that word is. Just a little bit in length. This is the washed swatch. It is also just beautiful and it feels nice and no shrinkage. So I am gonna say this is another win for me. This Roving did shed a bit, but you know, because it's Roving, I think instead of top, you get more of a mix of lengths. I think that's a Gus hair right there. It is. Bless my sweet Gus. It definitely feels more rustic, less silky, and more woolly, I guess, but I don't always mind that, and John loves it in socks. So for me, this is a win. Sorry about the lighting. This is kind of weird, but I only have overhead lighting at the moment. I really like that, but I have seen some comments from other people in the group, the Facebook group, that said this was less of a favorite than the Dorset Horn. I can see that. It is, like I said, a little more woolly, rusticy feeling, and that is not for everyone. But I will say it came through the testing really great. So I guess, again, this is why I suggest that everybody do their own testing so that you can decide what you like. And for me, it's another win, so it's exciting. Oh, so next time it's another 2 weeks. It'll be on a Friday. What is this? Is the 5th? Yeah. So it'll be on the 19th. The next breed is South Down, and that's like the mama of all down breeds. So I'm excited to try it out and see how it goes. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. It's Clarksgiving. If you normally come on Sundays, I just want to, or if you were thinking you were going to come for the first time this Sunday, whatever you were thinking, I am taking a Sunday off because our family Thanksgiving is Saturday for us this month, and that means that Sunday I will be like beat. It's fun. I can't wait to see kids, but it's tiring. I'll be hanging out on the couch with pie or Actually, I'm eating low carb still. I am taking Saturday off, but I'll be on the couch anyways. Like, probably not moving because I ate way too much on Saturday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will see you next Tuesday with a weaving video on Dolly the floor loom. Thanks, I love you, bye.